guys, today we're going to talk about unit rates, and what unit rates are they're just a special type of ratio. So if you guys remember, we talked about ratios last week and we had those three different forms, and a unit rate is going to take into account those forms, but there's going to be something special about it. And I really like unit rates because usually when we do these, they're very applicable to outside of the classroom. I know I use them all the time, and when you use them is typically when you're talking about money, and who doesn't like spending money every once in a while, right? So I'm going to show you guys some examples on how to do this, and at some point I'll tell you guys to pause the video and you work it out, and then you'll check your answer with me, okay? Alright, so for a unit rate, like I said, it's a special type of ratio. So all a unit rate is a ratio that has a 1 in it. So let's say we're talking about, I don't know, maybe 6 blue, I don't know, flowers to 3 red flowers. A unit rate would have this second number be a 1. So all that we do is we divide. Now typically, when we have a unit rate like this, your answers or your original ratio is going to be given to you in fraction form. So take a second, think about how would you write this as a fraction and write it down on your whiteboard. So what you should have written was 6 over 3. So the way that we approach these is you want your denominator, this bottom number here, to always be a 1. So the way that we turn a number into a 1 is we divide it by itself. So you're going to be simplifying a fraction, or a ratio in the form of a fraction, so that the denominator has a 1. So when we do that, we are going to divide top and bottom by whatever the bottom number is. Now sometimes when we do this, our top number is not going to divide perfectly with whatever the bottom number is. That's okay, because with a unit rate, all we care about is that this part turns into a 1. So in this case, we end up with 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So our unit rate is 2, 2, 1. That's really all there is to it. Now, we're going to look at a couple other things that might make it slightly more complicated, but for the most part, that's all you have to do. All right, so let's see here. I'll just give you guys one to try, so make sure you have your whiteboard ready. So our ratio is going to be 10 to 2, and I want you to turn that into a unit rate. So we do this by making our denominator, which is 2, into a 1. So we're just going to divide. So we divide top and bottom by whatever the denominator is. No matter what it is, we're going to divide by it. So divide by 2, divide by 2. So go ahead and pause for a second and get your new ratio. So the ratio you should have gotten is 5 to 1. That is our unit rate, and it's called a unit rate because it has a 1 in the denominator. And in math, the word unit always means 1. So what we're going to be looking at today in your guys' assignment, and how we typically see unit rates, is when you're at the store and you're trying to find something that is the most cost-effective thing to buy. Alright, so here's an example of a time that you might want to use a unit rate when you are out shopping. So let's say you go to Meijer and you see that these Meijer apples are on sale, and it says that they're on sale for $2.99, and it's a 5-pound bag, alright? But you also saw an ad somewhere let's say for Walmart, and it said that you had a bag of apples that was on sale for $1.99 for 3 pounds, okay? And you want to know what is going to be the cheapest place to buy apples at. This is another time that we're going to use our unit rates. So let's start with the Meijer one. So if I look at my picture over here, it says at Meijer it is $2.99 for 5 pounds. So all this is a ratio, $2.99 to 5 pounds. Now I know this looks weird because we have a fraction with a decimal, but remember this isn't a fraction, it's just a ratio, and we're choosing it to show it like a fraction. I'm going to erase this so it's not distracting. And I want to find the unit rate, which means I want to know how much 1 pound of apples costs so that I can figure that out, or I can compare it to the Walmart price down here and see which place I should go to get the cheaper apples. So I need to make sure that my denominator is a 1. So I'm going to divide by 5, divide by 5. So our denominator is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1, but then I have to do $2.99 divided by 5. And you guys are in luck because you get to use calculators for this. So we can type it into our calculator if it's going to show up for me, and see what $2.99 divided by 5 is. So 2.99 divided by 5 equals 0.598. So that means that 1 pound, that it is about 59, well, if we round it would be 60 cents for 1 pound of apples at Meijer. All right, so let's see how that compares to Walmart. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all this so I have some space. All right, or $1.99 for 3. So let's write that as a ratio in the form of a fraction. $1.99 to 3. So same idea. I want to know how much 1 pound costs so I can compare them, because since they started out at different weights, it's hard to compare them. So I'm going to divide by whatever my denominator is, because unit rate means a 1 in the denominator, and that's how you get a 1. So we get our 1, because 3 divided by 3 is 1. Then I'm going to go over to my calculator and see what $1.99 divided by 3 equals. 0.66. And then it's a really long decimal, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so our Walmart cost is 0.66 for 1 pound. So when I compare these two prices here, and I don't want you guys to start thinking about, well, I'd rather shop at Meijer or I'd rather shop at Walmart. It doesn't matter. That's not what the question's asking. The question is, which place is it going to be the better buy, aka which place is cheaper? So the cheaper place is obviously going to be the one that's 60 cents for 1 pound of apples, which was Meijer. So the answer to this question would be Meijer is the best buy. All right, so that's the way that we're going to be typically using unit rates. So I'm going to give you guys another scenario, and you guys are going to see which place has the better buy. So let's see, we'll do Walmart and Meijer again. Okay, so W will be Walmart. So at Walmart, you can buy, or the cost is going to be $3.50 for 6 bagels. I'm going to run out of space here. Okay. And then at Meijer, the cost is going to be $4.75 for 10 bagels. And so I want you guys to find the unit rate here of these two items and see which place has the cheaper bagels. So pause the video and let's see what you come up with. All right, so what we should have done is we have our Walmart price for $3.50 to $6, and to find our unit rate, we divide by whatever our denominator is. So if I divide that out, come on, calculator, 3.50 divided by 6 equals, we have our 1 in our denominator and a 0.58 in the numerator for our Walmart bagels. For Meijer, we have our ratio of 4.75 to 10, and we're going to divide by our denominator, which is 10. So our denominator is 1, and 4.75 divided by 10 equals 0.4, and then with money we always round to 2 decimal places, or the hundredths place, and the 5 rounds the 7 up to an 8. So once again, Meijer ends up winning because 48 cents is cheaper than 58 cents. Now these are just made up numbers here, so I'm not saying that Meijer is always cheaper than Walmart, but in our fake math problems, that is what has happened, okay? So you're going to do the same thing on your assignment today. You're going to compare two prices and decide which one is the better buy. The questions are not asking which one would you prefer to buy or which one is better. They're asking which one is cheaper. So please do not sit there and argue about which cheese is the more high quality cheese, and of course it is more expensive. Just pick the one that is the cheaper option. That's your job. Okay? Good luck. Let me know if you need anything.